So, but now
Uh,
that there's no druid again,
yeah.
hmm,
I'm actually looking at my shaman deck right now, and the only card that I'd have to remove if I wanted to make this limited is Leroy. That's it. Everything else fits the format.
what?
So,
Let's see, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolts,
yeah, there's
Rock
nothing.
Fighter, Flame Tongue, Unbound Elementals, Hex, Fire Elemental, which is the best common in the game, I think.
Right, diba? Yun nga eh.
Wow, wow,
So,
no?
it
This,
actually works.
yeah, this,
Huh.
you'd lose Leroy if you ran it. You would lose, even Wind Fury's free. Uh,
Yeah.
huh,
Hmm. I
hmm.
would build it more defensive though. I wouldn't play it.
Like, you'd play Sengens?
Maybe. Yeah, I'd probably play Sengens.
Sengens
Uh,
and Sunwalkers, maybe? Or is that, do you
maybe.
think that's a little too much?
Actually, I wouldn't play. Kung ganun kasi, I probably wouldn't play Defender of Argus. I'd go up na lang one step and go into the range of Sengens
Sengens and
and
Sunwalkers?
Sunwalkers. But it
Okay.
depends, no? It depends on how you're really looking to play this thing. Kasi the thing about Leroy is that he was at the heart of how this deck would kill you, i.e., Leroy
Leroy
Jenkins with
Jenkins
a
Wind Fury.
flame
Yeah,
tongue to his right and a wind fury on him, and then you're essentially dead, no?
yeah.
Yun. So if you remove Leroy Jenkins, that means that you're really just falling back on Fire Elemental
Mm.
as your main win condition.
As
That could be
your
tricky.
as your big beef that could
Uh-uh, uh-uh.
smash in.
Yeah.
Oh, you maybe Bloodlust. I don't know if you wanted to go that route.
Pwede, but that's suicide against Hunter.
Uh,
So
well, Bloodlust in general for me has been suicide. Every time I feel like I win with Bloodlust, it's like, oh, I'm so freaking lucky. Especially because of Zoo, because Zoo makes it a
yeah,
point. Zoo makes it
yeah,
a point to control your board.
right,
I was able to get away with it when it was all Face Hunter, because I dropped
right.
stuff and then it'd go, oh, and
Yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah. Yep.
but,
Hmm.
oh, I forgot though, we were talking about this the other day. Is Shaman bad? Because that means against Hunter you can't use your hero power.
Um, it's feeling like that, yeah. Shaman is weak against Hunter for two reasons. One is the fact that you can't go crazy with the totems. And that's kind of the way that Shaman sets up. The whole totem thing is kind of the heart of the class.
Yeah,
So you
it,
can't use that too much on Hunter. You can play like one or maybe two if you're feeling, reckless.
yeah,
The other reason why Shaman is weak is that Shaman deck lists never run any kind of heal.
that's
So
true.
over time, Hunter will just chip away,
And
and
there's
then
not
yeah,
really a lot you can do.
yeah, yun nga. So
Mm,
your best bet is like having some kind of feral spirit thing coupled with a growing unbound elemental early on, and just hope
yeah.
to God that he doesn't overwhelm you with Unleash the Hounds.
Or a lava burst.
Because
I mean,
or
you could go the burn route. I mean, if you don't have Leroy,
uh-uh.
I guess he's a
Pwede
close
actually, yeah, you're right.
second.
Ano. Hmm. The
Maybe.
other thing is like how do you feel about something like Frost Shock?
Russia. Um, I've actually been playing with Frost Shock. I've been
Uh-uh.
experimenting, but that's because I'm an idiot who plays stuff like Archmage and Malygos.
Well,
So
Malygos is a deck list now. That's a very accepted rogue card.
yeah, but not in limited though.
No, no,
S-
no, no. Definitely not unlimited.
So I
Uh,
don't know about a spell power.
mhm.
I'm not sure how to feel about a spell power. No, sorry, I don't know how I'd feel about playing Frost Shock without Malygos or a real solid commitment to spell power. Because what makes Frost Shock
Yeah,
nice, why I considered it at all, is it deals one damage to character.
right, right. Yeah. So
Um,
you can stop weapon attacks.
yeah, so I can stop weapon attacks. But more often than not, I was using it as a finisher in combination with Malygos because my
Right.
lightning bolts I would end up using them in the first 6 or 7 turns as removal, which means
Yep.
I wouldn't have anything that I could cast for damage on the same turn as Malygos, except for Earthshock. So that's why
Okay.
I would play Frostshock. So
Okay.
in the limited environment, I don't think Frost Shock is really a good idea.
Okay. Fair
Because if
enough.
yeah, because if you think about it, the only thing that you could use it profitably on would be on the off chance that the hunter was using I don't know, it's just that I don't think there's really a lot that you can kill. Maybe a hunter you can use it to kill a buzzard, but it feels like a waste
Mm,
of a one drop.
yeah. Okay.
Like I'd put
How
a
do you feel
squire
about
instead.
fork lightning?
Fork lightning, my 2 cents is if if they drop that overload by one, then it would be playable.
Yeah, but that's too much. That's too powerful now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Um,
if you think about it, cleave is two for exactly the same. So the warrior spell cleave is
that's
exactly the same as
true.
fork lightning, except it costs two.
Yeah, I
So fork
guess
lightning can be one and then overload one. It's just too powerful.
yeah, that's true. You're right. But in general, fork lightning, I don't like to play it. I mean, if ever I did play it, I'd never play it on turn two anyway. It's just
Hmm.
the overload penalty is just too much.
It's very high. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's really high because of the timing that you play it,
Mm,
and because of the damage that you deal with it. The only time that it's really profitable removal wise, anyway, is in the first two turns.
yeah,
So I don't know. It's like clear opponent's board, skip one turn. That's what you're
yeah.
doing with
I
fork
think that
lightning.
meron din kasi siyang sometimes kasi. And actually, the point of fork lightning naman is it's a third lightning storm. That's what it is. Eh.
Yeah,
A lightning storm that you could potentially play on turn two during emergencies. So, for example, and this is like I guess this would be like the dream, no?
yeah.
The your opponent plays double flame imp on turn one, so and then and then you smile, and
Hmm.
you thank God that you didn't mulligan that fork lightning.
No, the dream would be if you played Millhouse Mana Storm and then you just drop every single overload you had.
Oh well, that's true. Except that what happens to you, diba? You can't.
No,
What happens to your over?
you'll just end up at zero mana next turn. That's the worst that
Ah,
can
okay,
happen.
right,
I mean, you can't go
right.
negative overload. Sama naman nun.
Yeah, yeah. That would be. So you're paying your debts for the next three turns. That would be that would be pretty
Ano
nasty.
yan? Parang umutang ka sa bangko. Borrowed
Well, I mean
now,
that's essentially yeah,
pay light
that's
over three
essentially what
months.
overload is,
Yeah,
diba?
it's borrowed mana.
You're borrowing that mana. And
Um,
actually, this is kind of off topic now,
okay.
pero I realize now that that is the reason why Shaman uh is in such a good position to take out Ramp Druid, because Shaman is doing with its cards what Ramp Druid is trying to do with Wild Growth.
Hmm.
The Overload cards are essentially doing the same thing. Eh? They're trying to get value that should have come two turns later or one turn later. They're getting it now. Whereas Rap Druid is making an investment by not taking its second turn. Instead of taking its second turn, it's just playing a wild growth. It's making an investment into the future. So they're kind of so what's happening is that they're kind of still um, on pace with each other
Hmm.
when the druid starts playing its threats. Kasi the mana costs are roughly the same pa rin. So like, you play like a Yeti and a lava burst is 3 mana. It's actually cheaper than your Yeti is. Things like that, diba?
Yeah.
So it's a weird kind of parang quasi game economics thing going on there.
Yeah. It's funny. I forgot who said it, but when you're planning out your curve
Mm-hmm.
and you play stuff on curve, a druid would play it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
shaman would play it 1, 2, 5, 3, 6. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
because of how
Yep.
overload works.
Yep.
So that's hard, man. I mean, I should probably watch Caro play some more. That guy knows his shop.
Mhm. Yes,
All
yes,
right.
he does.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about mage. We talked a little bit about shaman. Druid, you think?
Yeah,
Druid limited? What kind
I
of
would play if I were playing on Saturday. I would play Druid just because it seems fun. I would
Like the
play.
ramp version or like the watcher
I
version?
don't think
Or...
I can do ramp kasi ano the strength of ramp is that those legendaries are overpowered on their own, and if you
Mm,
can get them out 2 or 3 turns earlier than normal, they can swing games for you.
okay.
But I don't think it's enough to get out a turn 6 Iron Bark Protector. I mean, it's great, but it's not gonna win you the game. Let's just say. So
Yeah, especially
I
with
would with Deadly Shot
or
or Assassin or whatever.
Hunter Smart
Yeah, diba?
4.
Yun nga, you can't rely on one big creature that doesn't do anything. It has to have something else going on.
I see.
I
Okay.
would play Watcher Druid though.
Watcher Druid.
Yeah.
That's true, because Watcher is legit. I mean, Watcher is legal. I'd maybe even do the Spellbreaker version.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
actually the version that I put together. I have Spellbreaker. Well, I put Acidic Swamp Boost though, but yes,
yeah,
I
because
do
why
have.
not, right? Because why not?
Oh, sure, I know. Yeah, and
Uh,
naman it's a very stable deck in
mm-mm,
either format, in either open or limited.
yeah,
The tricky part lang is that if you get overrun, wala, ganun. That's just the way it is. If you get
sorry.
overrun, you get overrun. Yeah. Oh well.
Hello.
Um, I would play it. My version had 2 claws though. Um, yeah. So I don't know.
I don't think that's too bad. If you're really worried about
I'm mostly just worried about Hunter. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
if you're mostly worried about Hunter and even Rogue, Tempo
Mm-hmm.
Rogue,
Mm-hmm.
Claw's not so bad. I think it's still decent because you can kill stuff with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not so good against Zoo though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause of
Yeah.
them annoying tempo taunts, but that's why
Right.
they're there. But yeah, I I'd play at least one claw druid. So statue druid, that's viable. Ramp druid,
Mm-hmm.
not as much because there's not much for us to ramp. What
Yeah.
about
Oh,
divine pally? You think that will see
Divine
some
Pally.
action?
What is Divine Pally strong against?
Uh, stuff that stuff that relies on spell removal.
So
Or
Shaman, in other words.
yeah, it's no, actually no, shaman at least has earth shock.
Yeah. I've
He,
actually found that of all of the minion matchups, my Shaman had the most problems with Rush Paladin. But this was before we started putting Argent Squires in kasi. So
yeah.
your first 2 turns kasi had this tendency na you'd have a really hard time catching up unless you drew into, either a Lightning Storm or Spirit Wolves.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, pero nga, so Rush Paladin is pretty strong against things like that. It's probably by nature going to be a little strong against Mage as well. Um, but it's a crappier zoo in many
yeah,
ways. It's
actually,
just a crappier zoo.
because yeah,
So
it's
yeah, and it all really boils down to Flame Imp. So
yeah,
Paladin doesn't have anything that's even remotely close to that one drop. It's just so strong kasi. And I
you're right.
suppose you could argue that they have Noble Sacrifice, but Noble Sacrifice is a response. It's not a move. You're
Yeah,
just
and
responding to something that your opponent did. So that
the
doesn't
other
really count.
thing. The other thing why it's just a bad zoo is because have you tried playing the main draw engine of Rush Valley is Divine Favor, right?
Yes. Yep.
It's just impossible to get any value out of that against Zoo.
Yeah.
Cause
Exactly.
his hand's empty. So
Yeah.
Rush Valley, I think is stronger in a meta where you're expecting a lot of control guys to hang on to
Yes.
their hand.
Yes, I
Cause
think
then you
so.
can dump your hand. He'll still have
Uh,
stuff because he was playing slow, and then you refill.
for that for that same reason, it might actually have a decent chance against Hunter pala.
Really?
Um, well, mostly because of Divine Favor, diba? So
Hmm.
post Unleash the Hounds,
Isn't that too
you
late
draw
though?
It might be. It might be. I don't know. And this is just theory, So,
Okay.
if your average turn six Unleash the Hounds nets the hunter three or four cards,
Yeah, three
and
cards.
you've got nothing in your hand except for your divine favor, you can catch up a little. I don't really